What's up, your Comic Sans lovers? I hope you are all having an amazing week. Today is very hot in here, so I'm sorry if you see me like melting in here. In today's video, we are going to talk about the first steps that you need to take to create your online presence. This is Lucas here, and I hope you enjoy it. So, in last week's video, we talked about the first 3 tips that I can give to you just to start building your online presence, some like general tips, but today we are going to get more in depth in this topic. And if you want more content just like this to learn how to build your online presence, how to be a content creator, and how to be a graphic designer, don't forget to subscribe, to drop a like, and to ring the bell down here. Everything is down here. Yeah, thank you. The first thing that you should do when you are thinking of creating your online presence is to build your brand strategy. And the first step to create your brand strategy is to choose the topic that you want to talk about. And I strongly advise you to choose something that you are passionate about. This is the first step that you have to take into account, and for sure this is the most important one, because if you fail on this one, everything that's go after this is going to fail too. Don't choose a topic just because it's a trend right now or because you think it's going to be easy to drive traffic for this kind of content. Just remember, you are not aiming for an explosive growth, because explosive growth relies a lot on the lucky. You are looking for a gradual growth, because gradual growth is something that relies much more on your skill, on what you do, in what you want to share, and also in your skills in the social media platform that you are using. But the explosive kind of growth is something that relies a lot on luck, and you can't control it very much. So keep it in your mind that every time that you create a social media platform where you are building your presence, you are looking for something gradual, long run, not a sprint. And if for some reason, any reason, you choose to talk about something that you don't really like, that you don't really feel excited to talk about, just because it's a trend or because it is an engaging thing right now, you feel that it's going to be easy to grow on that niche, you are going to give up very quickly, because the start of your online presence building is something that's very hard to do. It's the most difficult part. The worst part is the beginning. So many troubles are going to happen because you are not going to understand everything on your first try. So if you choose something that you are not really passionate about, just keep it in your mind, you are going to do this for a long time. And if you are talking about something that you don't like day after day after day, and you don't like it, you are going to end up giving up. So choose something that you love to talk about. Choose something that you feel passionate about. After all, no one likes to solve problems of things that they don't like. Just another thing that I want to add before we jump in the next step of building your online presence, make sure you do a research on this topic just to find out if this thing that you want to talk about, that you are so passionate about, can be profitable in the future, because otherwise you are going to be creating a brand that's not going to be profitable ever for you, and you don't want these too. So make sure you do the proper research. After you picking the topic that you want to talk about, and also making sure that you know that it is profitable somehow, it's time to start building. This is so hard to say. It's time to start building your personal branding strategy. So let's start by understanding what branding is. According to Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, branding is what people talk about you when you are not in the room. So branding is what people think about you or about your business. This means that when you create a brand, you are actually creating lots of brands, because every single person that comes across you that has some contact with you or with your brand are going to think a different way about it, because it is impossible for 2 people to feel exactly the same thing about a brand. They can think and feel very similar things, but not exactly the same. So a brand strategy is a mix of ideas, thoughts, and feelings that you want people to have about you. It is all the movements that you do, all the characteristics that you pick for your brand, so you make your audience and your clients see you as you want to be seen. So this is a brand strategy. Good branding is when the idea and the feeling that most of the audience of your brand is aligned with each other, but also is aligned with the image and the idea, the concept, the thoughts that you wanted them to have about you or about your business. And this video is being very serious, so let me just make a joke here just to break the ice. If you want your audience to remember of farts when they see your brand, and everyone thinks of farts when they see your brand, it means it is a good branding. Because although I don't know why you should want someone to think of you and remember of farts, but if you want to do it and everybody do think it, it's a good branding. Probably I'm going to regret this part of the video when I'm in the editing part. I'm sorry for those who don't like jokes. You are in the wrong channel. Another very important part on the general branding experience that you are building for your customers is that you know what you are talking about. Because as a content creator, you have a huge responsibility. Maybe not in the beginning, because in the beginning you don't have much of a big reach, but when your page gets bigger and you have lots of followers, thousands, maybe millions of followers, your responsibility is going to be very big. You don't want to mislead people. And also, don't forget, when you are creating something on the internet, an online presence, you are talking publicly. When you talk publicly, everybody can come across your content. This means your competitors and people that understand about the topic that you choose to talk about on your page, they are also going to see your content. And if they see that you are misleading people, giving wrong information, you are going to very quickly lose all the trust that you worked so hard to get. So please be responsible with your posts, with the content that you produce, because whenever you publish something and it is misleading, many people are going to have access to it. And when you mislead people about a topic, you are not only jeopardizing your relationship with your audience, but you are also misleading them and making the life of the other creators very hard. Because let's suppose that you create a content, a post, a video about something that you don't know about, and your audience see your content but also see other people's content. If you are posting something that you don't know about that is misleading information, it is going to turn the research of your audience much harder, and also it's going to take away the credibility of the other creators. So please be respectful, respect people, respect everybody on the community, and make sure you know your responsibility as a content creator. Even if you know what you are talking about, make sure that you double check the information somewhere before posting it, because you don't want to look like a loser who just posts fake things and imprecise things. So make sure you double check everything before saying things and posting things online. I'm not saying that you have to be perfect, because everybody can fail, mainly on the internet where you have many tries, because you're not dying if you actually get something wrong. So if you make something wrong, just have the courage to come here on the same platform where you made the mistake and correct yourself. Tell them you are sorry for misleading them for some reason. This can happen to anyone, so don't be afraid of failing because of this. Just make sure that you don't forget to do the proper research before posting, even if you know what you are talking about. Sometimes we want to talk about topics that we don't know about, and this is okay too. Although I just told you not to, but it is okay if you do the proper research. Just investigate, do the correct investigation, and get the right information to share with your audience. You probably can't even imagine the importance of this step of making sure that the information that you are sharing is correct. So just to make sure that you understand everything that's going on, understand the importance of everything that you are doing, make sure you watch this documentary. I don't know where I'm going to put on the screen. Probably I'm going to fill the entire screen with this, but make sure you watch this Netflix documentary about the social media called The Social Dilemma. It will show you in a very clear way why you should be responsible with the content that you post online. After defining all the theoretical part, and I also recommend you to do a little more of a research, a larger research on this topic, because what I'm doing here is very superficial about the information that I'm sharing with you right now. So branding has much more depth than just the things that I told you until now. You have the persona, you have to care about your audience, you have to think about who is going to be your audience. So take everything into account and do a little more research. Skillshare is a very good platform to learn about branding too. I'm going to leave their link here on the description. And after you defining all the theoretical part of your brand, after you understanding what's the path that you want and that you need to go on after creating your brand, you need the next step, translating everything that you just defined for your brand into visuals. And this is where the graphic design enters the game. It is very important to have the same communication and a cohesive communication along all the platforms that you choose, because you are not going to post only in one place. Spoiler alert of the next videos. And I'm going to talk about this in my next video, so stay tuned here on my YouTube channel. So subscribe, drop a like and ring the bell if you want to see this video where I'm going to explain to you how to turn those characteristics, those theoretical characteristics into visuals. So see you next week. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I heard that if you don't follow me right now on Instagram, and if you also don't subscribe to this channel right now, you are going to have hiccups for a full week. I told you that I was going to stop with this on the last video, but I will never stop. So see you in the next week, your Comic Sans lovers. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm Lucas, and goodbye.